No questions? Okay. So we're going to cover the different ways of going out and getting sellers. And these are not all the ways. These are just the ways that I have found to work really well. And I'll break each one of these down. So what do you think number one is? Those of you that have been with me for a while, what do you think the number one way to get a seller is? I'll pick on Cody. Cody, how did you get your seller?
My SOI list.
SOI. Look at this, guys. SOI. SOI is probably the number one way to get sellers. So basically what SOI stands for those of you that don't know, we do have kind of our own language here, but it stands for sphere of influence. So sphere of influence are typically those people that you know, and sometimes they can be people you don't know. But sphere of influence is just that. It's the sphere of people that you could potentially have an influence on. So I know Cody got this through a friend of a friend with another realtor involved, things like that. So that is his sphere of influence is where he got that. A lot of times we're going to be calling that our database. So different ways of getting business through your sphere of influence, and we're going to dig a little bit deeper into this, would be calling them, simply asking them for business, asking them if they have an interest in selling. And a lot of what I'm going to teach you tonight really goes both ways when it comes to buyers and sellers, but we're going to focus a lot on sellers first. But different ways of doing this. So getting your sellers, getting everybody in your database set up on your monthly neighborhood smart plan. That is one of my favorite smart plans because what that does is every month, and you can even set it up to do it every 2 weeks, but every month it's going to send out a neighborhood report that tells them what's happening in their neighborhood. So it doesn't give them an exact figure of the value of their home, but it is telling them what's happening. And I find most of our sphere of influence, most people, if you guys own homes, you probably feel the same way. One of the most important things to us about our home is the value of it. We're constantly wanting to know, our price is going up, our price is coming down, where is my equity at? So that is really how you can go out and talk to your SOI about selling. So ways that I do that, I offer free CMAs. So I don't call them CMAs. CMA is another acronym for comparative market analysis. And most of the public does not know what that means. So I don't call it a CMA. I would say, hey, are you interested in knowing the value of your home? And that's something on your website. We have a home evaluation button on your website, so you can advertise that where people can enter their information. We also have a home valuator on your app. So when you share your app with people, there's a place in there for them to enter their home and their address, and it will send a notification to you that says, hey, Teri is asking for the value of her home. She'd like to know the equity in her home. And all of these systems tie together, so it will go into our command system. But those are some really good ways to get out there with your SOI. So one of my goals is to every year I send out free CMAs to my database without asking them. So what that means is I put together what I'm now using is the RPR report. That is a free service on the MLS where you can type in an address and very quickly get a range of what the value of that house is. Previously, before I started using that, I would literally do a CMA and I would do 2 or 3 MLS sheets that show them what's happening, write a nice little handwritten note and mail it in the mail. So once a year, everybody in my database gets a copy of that. Now they're getting a copy of the RPR report. And I just do it in the mail. It's just kind of a surprise, but I break that down to how many am I going to do per week, per day, per month, so that I can actually get through the entire database. So an activity you can do with your SOI that helps generate listings is just giving out free CMAs. So any questions on that or any other ideas when it comes to your sphere of influence on how to get listings? Or any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I do want to. I need to set that up though. The neighborhood thing. That's a really good idea with the smart plan.
Yes, if we have time tonight, I'm going to write it down right now. If we have time tonight, I will show you quickly how to do that.
Okay, I would love that.
And then what I would ask you to do, and I'm asking everybody on here, is I want you to set yourself up on a neighborhood smart plan. So if you have not done that yet, definitely that's an activity that you want to do right away. What that's going to do, number one, is it motivates you. You get to see how awesome the tool is that you're sending to your clients. So I told this story in Ignite today. So I have been in the business for a very long time, but I've only been with Keller Williams about half my career. So when I came over to Keller Williams and they have all these systems and tools, well, I was paying for my own somewhere else. So I was very reluctant to change all of my systems over to a different system until somebody had me set myself up on our marketing plans. And then when I received the email from myself, I was so impressed with what it was. And the fact that it took me 3 seconds to turn it on was even more impressive. I instantly cut off all my other systems and moved my whole entire business to the Keller Williams system. So it's that powerful for you to see what you actually can provide to people. So that's why I encourage you to do it. So you're more motivated to get that going. I still receive it every single month from myself, and I also receive it every single month from Kimber, our tech trainer, because she uses me as an example a lot. I'm a realtor. You're a realtor. We can check out the value of our home every single day, which I don't. But every time I receive the email from the monthly neighborhood smart plan, I click on it. I go in. I'm so curious about my neighborhood, my house, who's listing what. So if me as a realtor feels that way, can you imagine how the public feels when they receive your emails? So huge tool. So thank you, Greg. We're going to make sure you know how to do that. Any other thoughts or questions on SOI? Okay. So the next one is phone calls. So another really good way to get seller leads or phone calls. So what I mean by this, yes, you can be calling your SOI. So that's definitely a form of a phone call. But another way is for sell by owners. So a lot of agents are calling for sell by owners because we know they want to sell their house. We don't know why. We don't know, if their pricing's off or what their reason is for not wanting a real estate agent. Most of the time it's because they think they're going to save money. So us having those conversations, calling for sell by owners we're going to pick up listings. Expired listings, calling on expired listings is a really good way to pick up seller leads. We know, again, at one point they had an interest in selling homes and it didn't sell. So now we've got to figure out, why did it not sell? What were they not happy about? Did they simply change their mind? Most of the time, they still want to sell. They're just looking for the right person to help them. So that's a really good way for us to get calls. Other phone calls that are very effective to pick up sellers are just listed and just sold or under contract phone calls. So what that looks like, we call that circle calling. And so you're basically going to be calling around the neighborhood. So you can call around the neighborhood you live in, and you would say, hey, I'm calling through the neighborhood, just want to know if you have any plans to move. And they're like, no, not really planning to move. Great. Well, how long have you lived there? Oh, we've been here 3 years. Awesome. How did you move? How did you pick this area? Where did you move from? You're having a conversation with them. And I have the script here in the slide that you guys can take a screenshot of. But the money question that I always say, no matter what, especially on the phones, it works in person, doesn't matter what you're doing. The money question is, if you were to move, where would you go next? If you were to move, where would you go next? Because what will happen is, anytime you're having a conversation, hey, have you thought about buying a house? Yeah, I'm thinking of moving, but I think I'm gonna wait for 8 months. Or no, I have no plans on moving. You're gonna carry me out of here in a box. Like, you guys have all heard the same responses. But when you get to the question, okay, I know you're not moving, but if you were, where would you go? And they answer that quickly, they have thought of moving. So it usually goes something like, oh yeah, we'd move to Washington. And they say it so matter of fact that you're like, then it opens up a conversation. Well, what's in Washington? Why is this important to you? How quickly do you need to be there? When would this be? Versus you saying, hey, if you were to make a move, where would you go next? And they're like, I have no place to go. Like, they are not thinking of moving, and that's okay. But just know that that one extra little question will get somebody to tell you without telling you if they're planning to move. So that's the money question. I always encourage you to use that when you're talking to people. Any other ideas on calls? Who else is making calls? Cody, I know you're on the phone all the time, not necessarily just for real estate, but any other thoughts on phone calls?
Just practice the scripts. It's especially the calling on the expireds can be a very stressful call. Just make sure you have that verbiage drilled into your brain so you can go about them in the best way possible, because they're just very stressful calls. And just having that scripting down before you go into that situation will make it a little less uncomfortable.
Yes. Such good advice. That is so true. We have lots of scripts. Number 5 on the job of a realtor is to script and role play. We want to be doing that every single day. Scripting and role playing. And we're not doing this to make you sound like robots. We're not doing it to, have everybody sound the same. It's just having you know what to say. That's the biggest thing. It's conversations. We just want to make sure that if somebody gets you off track, and we'll cover a couple scripts tonight. What I like about them is it's like a guardrail. So if you're having a conversation, especially on the phone, you call somebody and you're like, hey, I'm a local realtor. I'm working in your neighborhood. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called. My grandkids, they're out playing today. And oh my gosh, the weather's so nice. And you're like, what are we talking about right now? Asking another question using your script will pull them right back into you get to control the call. So scripts are very helpful. And especially like Cody mentioned, expireds. Sometimes they're not happy. They don't like realtors. A realtor did not sell their house. So when he says stressful, that's what he means. If they can come across a little aggressive. And if you don't know how to handle that or ask the next proper question, you're going to get flustered. And the scripts are really going to help you stay on track with these calls. So thank you, Cody. Such a good reminder. Scripts. I can't think of anything else with calls other than tying it back into your SOI and making sure that you are calling them. We like to have you call them once a quarter. So they should be getting a phone call from you at least 4 times a year. And we do have smart plans in our systems to remind you to do that. Door knocking. Door knocking is another really good way to pick up sellers. And so door knocking, just like just listed, just sold, under contract properties, you don't have to wait for your own listing to do this. So you can pick an area, say that you want to work your neighborhood, pull up on the MLS and see what house just listed or what house just sold in the neighborhood and go knock the doors. Hey, did you know a home just sold in your neighborhood? It actually sold for above list price, or it actually sold at this list price. It actually sold in 1 week. It sold in 30 days. Like, you're just going to tell them the story. So then you go into the script. So I'm wondering when you plan to move. And they're like, well, I'm not planning to move. Oh, well, how long have you lived here? Where did you move from? Great. Well, let me ask you, if you were planning to move, where would you go next? It's the same script with the door. So door knocking is very valuable. I'm going to show you guys a video tonight of somebody who built her career. She's in the top 1,000 in the US right now. So she sells a lot of houses, and she did it all through door knocking. So I'm going to show you a video of her today and her script. But door knocking is a really good way to go out and get business. I love door knocking. So when I first started my career, I did phone calls because I liked being efficient. So I would put myself on a dialer. I came from a call center, so that made the most sense to me. Put on my headset and I would dial. We called it dialing for dollars. And I would have a phone call. And then the second I built a relationship or got a lead, I turned it into a door knock. So I would go knock on the door and say, hey, this is Teri. I actually called you today. I was just in the area. I wanted to introduce myself. Because I firmly believe things face to face are way more powerful than just over the phone. It's easy for people to hang up on you or not be nice to you over the phone. And I'm not saying that's all that they do, but definitely on the doors, like, it's nothing to be scared of. Very seldom. I've probably had a door shut in my face maybe twice in 20 years. People just are not as aggressive in person as they are on the phone. So door knocking is one of my very favorites, but door knocking is really good when you're doing open houses. That gives you a good excuse to go out and let them know, hey, I'm doing an open house in the area. Just wanted to let you know. Do you know anybody who wants to live here? How about your friends, your family? Okay, great. Well, how about you? Do you have a plan to move? So you can see the scripting is the same no matter what we're doing with these people, right? We're going to engage in a conversation, get them warmed up, and then start asking about their life. And that's how we pick up sellers. So I cannot tell you how many times I've been door knocking, even phone calls, where I have called and they have told me, or I've knocked on the door and they're like, how did you know I was selling? So it blows them away because, number one, they're not getting phone calls, they're not getting door knocking. And usually you have to, somebody, they're going to start looking for a realtor. So if a realtor steps on their doorstep and says, hey, are you planning to move? They're like, how did you know? And they're blown away. So I have what's called a yes script, and I have it in here too. I really want you guys to practice what happens when they say yes, because I remember one of the very first times I went door knocking, probably within the first 10 door knocks, I said, do you have any plans to move? And they were like, yeah, we actually do. And I really wanted to be like, oh, okay, have a nice day. Because I wasn't expecting them to say yes. And this became one of my very first listings. So just so you know, be prepared. They will say yes. They will say no. That's okay. We're just looking for people who say yes. I believe you're here. And I'm so happy you're here. So any questions or any other thoughts on door knocking? Who's tried door knocking? Who's come on there and been to doors?
Terry, I think we're losing you. Or maybe it's just my computer.
No, I couldn't hear that much either.
Okay.
Sorry, that's so frustrating. I'm in my South Jordan office and our service is not great sometimes. Can you hear
I
me
was
now?
just,
Yes, we
yeah,
can hear you now.
check in.
So, I was just asking if any of you guys have been door knocking. Has anybody tried door knocking?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Greg, you'd be so good at it. You'd be so good because you're so good with people. Ellie, sound is fading and coming back. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me now. Ellie, you've been door knocking, haven't you?
I did at the beginning. And actually, what's important with door knocking is take good notes, give people's names and phone numbers, but follow up and follow through. Because I think that was kind of my big thing was following up. I did follow up with quite a few and things didn't quite turn out, but it's surprising how many people you'll get at the door and how many conversations you'll have. So the scripts are really helpful, but honestly, if you're door knocking, you can have a clipboard and you can have the script right in front of you and it won't be too big of a deal, but it would be good to like memorize a big part of it.
Yes. So you just outlined 2 of the 5 jobs we talked about tonight, script and role play, so you know it. And job number 2 is follow up. So I personally believe it's fairly easy to generate leads. It really is. What's hard is following up. Greg, you're one that knows. I mean, he's talking to people all day long. He's generating so many leads right now. And now comes the hard part where it's like, okay, how do I follow up with these people? How do I get them to convert into an actual client? So Ellie, thank you. Following up is huge. Okay.
I think too, when you're out door knocking, it's probably a good idea to like put some key things that you've talked about so you can return to that conversation because in the summertime there's a lot of people that come out and knock on doors, and sometimes if I were to give my phone number out to a salesperson, I might not know who it was. So it would be good to have like some key topics that you talked about. I mean, obviously you want to stick to the script, but maybe something that you talked about while you're at the door would be helpful.
For sure. That reminds me kind of going back to Ford or form. So yes, Ellie, we want to take notes because we want to remember these people. So if you were there and their kids were out there, I would take some note like, oh my gosh, they have a kid in kindergarten. Or if they told, maybe they had like a paint truck. Okay, so they're a painter. But yes, you want to engage personally too. We want to build rapport with them. And so in the notes section in my command, I actually put Ford because I want to remember anything that I've talked to anybody about. So I want to know, did they have kids? Do they not have kids? Are they dog lovers? What do they do for fun? What are their dreams? Things like that. So kind of remember that. And that's how I do it. So I love that. Taking notes is never a bad thing. You can take that script with you. You can take that clipboard. Nobody's going to care if you're taking notes. They appreciate it. So yes, thank you, Ellie. Any other thoughts or comments on door knocking? A lot of people are out there right now, I think, because the weather's nice. So wear your sunscreen. Take water. It's hot. Okay, open houses. Open houses are an extremely good way to pick up sellers. And I think that's surprising for some people because a lot of us are out there trying to pick up any of those buyers coming in that don't have buyer's agents. However, talking to people at open houses, you will find a lot of people are coming in. However, they have a house to sell first. So that's a big question you want to ask in open houses is, I usually ask things like, are you looking for you? Are you looking for yourself or someone else? Oh, awesome. And I feel like people always forget to ask, do you have a home to sell before you can buy? And when you ask that, we're picking up a lot of people right now where it turns into, yeah, I want to buy a house and I have a house to sell. So a lot of sellers become buyers and a lot of buyers become sellers. So just remember that when you're doing an open house, they work awesome to pick up both sides of the leads, but it's a really good way to pick up sellers too. So make sure you're asking the question, do you have a home to sell when you're talking to people in open houses? Open houses are also like creating an event. So you have the leverage of being able to do everything you see here, making a phone call, calling the neighborhood, door knocking around the neighborhood, sending out flyers around the neighborhood, just showing up, getting the balloons, having whatever activity you're doing. It attracts people and it allows you to talk to a lot of people. So in turn, you get to find out who wants to sell their home. Open houses, you can offer, that free CMA. Hey, has anybody told you what your home is worth in today's market? Great question to ask at an open house. A lot of people don't ask that. That's a good way to pick up a seller lead. Anytime I ask somebody, even an event, I'm pretty sure I have events on here, but I might not. But like we're participating, we're doing a client event right now, the Splash Summit event. When I send out my RSVPs, there's always a question in there that says, would you like to know the equity in your home? Would you like to know the value of your house? And so I have sent this out to, I don't know, probably 300 people right now. I have about 70 people that are planning to come to this. I've only had 2 people in all of that say, yes, I'd like to know the value of my house. So it goes to show not everybody cares that much about the value of their house. And it makes me think that these 2 people that have said yes, there's a reason they want to know the value of their house. There's a reason they want to know the equity. So to me, I picked up 2 leads by asking, do you want to know the value of your house? So just remember, and then back to Ellie's point, now it's my job to follow up and make sure they get that free CMA that I've offered. But I'm always offering free CMAs, always.
And in my opinion of this entire list, this last one that she talks about is by far my favorite. I've gotten more business from doing open houses than probably anything else except for my SOI. So just want to put that out there.
Yes, I love that. I was hoping you would chime in, Cody. Cody does what we would call a 7th level open house. There are different levels. If you guys are reading the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, you'll see there are different levels of open houses. And so most open houses are, show up the day of and you stick a sign in the yard and you pray people show up. That's a very level 0, maybe level 1 open house. A 7th level open house is exactly what Cody's doing. He is planning, he is prepping this thing at least a week in advance. He's showing up way before the open house starts. He's talking to the neighbors. His balloons are 10 times the size of a normal balloon. Like you guys need to follow Cody. He's so fun on social media. But the open houses are crazy cool. And you can hear him saying he's picking up more business from them than anything else. So Cody, I want to commend you on your open houses. You do a great job.
Thank you, Teri. Yeah, I had one, not this one, but probably 2 before this last one that I had. I had like 17 leads. I mean, so it was insane. It was a crazy number.
That's crazy, bro. Woo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody on this coaching program needs help with an open house, please reach out. I got no problem helping with marketing. I'll come shadow you guys. Like, I just want to help. Just let me know, any of you guys.
That's awesome, man.
Yes. Thank you, Cody. He lets you shadow him too, which is pretty cool. I've heard nothing but wonderful things. So when he's doing an open house, go visit him. Go see how he's doing. And that goes for anybody here. So we will find you open houses to shadow if you're not comfortable doing your own. And we can do open houses on everyone's listings. It doesn't have to be our own listings. It's a really good way to get business. So if that's something you want to try, talk to me, talk to Lori. We will make sure that we get you set up with shadowing or doing an open house for somebody. Cody, do you want to put your phone number in the chat? Ellie's asking for that. Okay, so open houses, awesome. Any other thoughts or questions on those? Okay. Social media. Social media is a really good way to pick up business as well. Social media, you know, it's leverage. You're getting to put out there with a lot of people and not even know who it's reaching necessarily. It's just getting your message out to a lot of people. And again, I go back to social media, I go back to open house, excuse me, that's leverage. So anytime you're listing a house, anytime you're go under contract, anytime you sold a house, anytime there's news in the media or on the market, you want to leverage that and get it out there on social media. So my thing, we had a social media class yesterday. One of our rookies of the year talked about what he did in social media to actually build his business. We have another girl who was rookie of the year. She built her business on TikTok. So social media is not meant to be underrated. It definitely is a way to pick up business. I can tell you a personal story of mine. Last year, I had a client reach out to me, and she was a client I hadn't helped or really talked to. I mean, I definitely kept her on my 36 touch ripping and things like that. But I hadn't really seen her or talked to her. She had gotten divorced, and her life changed a little bit throughout the process. And one day she reached out to me and said, I have a subdivision. I'm wondering if you can list it. So I swear I got that by being active on social media. And not even about real estate so much. She is somebody that is active on social media. I constantly was engaging in her posts and things like that. And she went through, you know, kind of a health battle, and I was very caring and proactive on social media about that. Like I genuinely cared about her. We had not talked about real estate in probably 10 years. And then all of a sudden she's like, hey, I need your help with real estate. So I'm convinced that came from social media. So you just never know how much impact you're having on there. So things that you can do, you know, there's a lot of ways of getting content. I would say, I like to say, I'm not the best social media person. I'm just active on there. Something that the girl I'm going to show you the video of, she recommends doing 5 by 5 by 5. So what that is going out onto social media every single day. It takes you 10 minutes, and you're going to post on 5 people's pages. You're going to like or love or engage on 5 people's posts. So now what they're doing, you're going to like it or love it or whatever, just engage in it. And then you're going to direct message 5 people. So if you do the 5 by 5 by 5 every single day, you are going to have a lot of conversations. You're going to be engaging. People are going to see you, your feed, the algorithms, all of that, because you're engaging in their content and you're posting on their stuff. Your stuff is going to go to the top of their feeds. So it really helps with the algorithm if you're engaged in social media. So I would also recommend that you're posting your own stuff. And I would also recommend that as you are posting on social media, I just really like the concept of 5, that every 5th post should be real estate related. So we don't want to be crazy. We don't want to be on there posting a house 5 times a day. We don't want to drive the people nuts that all we care about is real estate. If you look at my social media or you follow me, my stories are always going to be about my coffee. They're going to be about my dog. They're going to be about my family. They're going to be me in the mountains, and it's going to be real estate. You watch me on social media, you know who I am as a person. Or at a concert or in the mountains, and one of those will be on my social media. I'm going to be playing with my dog, or I'm going to be drinking coffee. You know who I am. And the whole reason for doing that is people want to work with people they like, they know, and they trust. And the only way for them to get to know you on social media is if you share that. So you do want to, if you're not active on social media, I would encourage you to do that. Even if you did that a week, so 5 posts a week, and 4 of them are your passions, whatever you're passionate about in life, and the 5th one is real estate. That also helps beat any algorithms that are not letting your business posts get up into people's feeds. Social media is very smart. They want to charge you for doing business posts and things like that. So if all you're posting is business, they're going to make sure your friends and family and your SOI, your feeds are not seeing that, because they want to encourage you to boost it and post it and pay for it. But if you're doing that every 5th post, you're kind of getting around that algorithm. It's like personal, 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 personal real estate. So that's kind of my theory on social media. It doesn't matter which platform. I would say get into 1 or 2 and get really good at it. Just like everything I'm telling you tonight, I don't expect you to master every single one of these categories. grab one or two. Cody mentioned open houses and SOI are two of his very top favorite ways to get business. Figure out your top ways. I would encourage you to come up with 2 or 3 pillars in your business. You don't have to master them all. Come up with the ones that you like. Any other thoughts on social media? Anybody else that's really good on social media that wants to give us some advice?
If you haven't started social media yet, doing stuff, just know that like no matter what you do, it's always cheesy. So just get past that part. Just put something out there and embarrass yourself so you can get started on making some really great content. So that's all I got to put on that, really.
Yes, it's so true. Just get out there and just do it. Don't wait for it to be perfect. People like imperfection. They want us to be normal. They want us to be human. They don't expect something completely polished. That's the whole point of social media, right? So you'll get better. Okay, networking. So networking is also a really good way to go out and get sellers. And specifically, I would say business to business networking. So with this, I like to say, follow your money. Where are you spending your money? So we all have, we all probably have like hairdressers. We all have insurance people. Like we need to have car insurance. We need to have homeowners insurance. We need to have our HVAC worked on. We need to have our heaters worked on. Sometimes we have auto detailers. I mean, think of where you spend your money. You're giving money to another business. So why should they not return that business to you? They should. So you just need to make sure you're having that conversation. I cannot tell you how many people I've helped that have come to do something on my house. So HVAC guy, they come in, usually once a year, something goes wrong with my AC and I'm bringing somebody in, I'm talking to them. I'm just like, hey, yeah, I will bring it up to them. I'm in real estate. Do you have some cards? I'd love to share your cards with other realtors. They get so excited about that. And then it turns into, oh, well, how's the market? Well, the market's great. Have you thought about purchasing or selling a home? So once you start caring about people's businesses, let me help you with your business. They're going to naturally in return want to help you with yours. So business to business is one of my very favorites. Some of you have heard me talk about like even your mortgage people, your home inspectors, your title people. I cannot tell you how many of them have told me, because in my mind and many people's mind, why would I talk to a title person about buying a house? All they do is talk to realtors all day long. They don't need me. Could be our drunk monkey. I cannot tell you how many title people, how many home inspectors, how many mortgage people have told me nobody's ever asked them for business. So yes, they work with realtors all day, every day, and none of those realtors are asking them for business. So get out there and ask these businesses for business. And it's very easy. So say like a homeowner's insurance agent, you could just say, hey, I'd love to grab coffee or a drink, sit down with you and talk about business. Awesome. When you're there, you can say, tell me about business. How do you pick up your insurance clients? It's all about them. And then you can say, hey, I am a realtor and I have people who need homeowners insurance all the time. I'd love to have your name or your card or your flyer in my seller packet. Are you looking for more business? They're going to, of course, say yes. You very seldom are going to come across a business person that says, oh, no, I'm not looking for any more business. And if they do, I would say, great, who can you refer me to? Like, who's your next favorite HVAC person that you can give me? But it's all about them. We have another rookie of the year I can think of that she built her business through business to business networking, all through coffee dates. And so she would go to coffee because it's cheaper than lunch. And when she would go to meet with these other businesses, she would ask them, hey, can we do a little commercial? Can I interview you about your business? She would post it on her social media that says, hey, I'm here with Susie, the dog groomer. She has the best dog grooming company here in South Jordan. And then next thing you know, she posts it and that person is like, oh my gosh, I met this realtor and she was so great and she's promoting my business. I just can't believe how wonderful she is. They want to reciprocate. So kind of think about ways that you can go out business to business. An activity that I would give you is get the alphabet, get a notebook and the alphabet A to Z and come up with a business for every single letter of the alphabet and go after those people and try to build a business to business relationship with them. So as an example, A, everybody should have a good accountant. So is your accountant that you're using, have you sat down with them? Have you asked them to refer you business? People are going to ask you all the time. I have a tax question. Do you have an accountant I can ask? Well, remind your accountant. I get asked questions all the time. I'd love to refer them to you. Or do you have a realtor you'd refer business to if somebody asks you about real estate? Get that business to business going. It's a great way to pick up sellers. Um, Carpet cleaning people, they're in houses all the time getting carpets cleaned, people getting ready to sell their house. Cleaners, home cleaners. I mean, just think of all of that. So go through B, C are cleaners, D, dentists, doctors, whatever you can think of. Build a business network, A through Z, and go talk to those people. Book appointments with them and see if you can get some business from them. So that's really what I mean by networking. Lots of ways to do it, but it's a great way to pick up business. So any thoughts on networking? Any questions? Okay. And then the next one I have on here, the last one I have, can you hear me? Sorry, Greg says it's fading out again.
Yeah, we can hear you. It just faded. It's keep fading in and out.
I don't know why it's doing that. I'm sorry. So yes, and I just saw your post. Canva is good for real estate posts. Absolutely. Canva is awesome. Okay, so golden letters. So you will hear some people talk about golden letters. We have a whole playbook on this. It's a really good way to get seller leads. So basically what a golden letter is, you're going to pick an area. Say you have a buyer who's looking for a specific townhome in a specific community, and the kids go to school there and they don't want to live anywhere else but this. A golden letter is when you send out that letter to a whole bunch of people that's basically saying, I have a buyer for your home. Would you be interested in selling with your phone number? It's very basic, and mailing it out to them. People, this is a way to make people call you. And there's agents who are building their whole entire business doing this. So you could go into YouTube and type in real estate golden letter, and you can learn a lot about how to do that, what people are doing, how it's working, how many they're sending out. There's whole companies that just send out golden letters. Like this is a really big way. You do have to pay for it. It's a cost. You can do it pretty inexpensive yourself, but it's a really good way. And basically, you're just mailing letters to homeowners that say, I have a buyer. Do you want to sell your house? And it works very well. So we have a whole entire playbook just on, really have a playbook on every single thing I taught you tonight. So if you're interested in finding those or reading more in depth on each one of these, just let us know. I'll make sure you get it. But that's what a golden letter is. So any questions, any other thoughts on kind of these? These are my best ways to go out and get sellers.
It just faded. Everything you just said, it kind of faded out. So you said something about the go letters in a playbook, and then it started fading out. So
Yes, we have playbooks that have been created by Keller Williams on every area that I just talked about tonight. So if
okay,
you want to dig deeper in any of these categories, I will help you find those or I will send them to you. But you can find these within Commandments. We do have playbooks on every single one of these, including the golden letter.
And
okay,
I'm just going to add to that, your title company, like, so whoever you choose to work with for title company, they can farm areas for you and you can send your golden era letters out that way too. You can
Yeah.
also just say, I'm the agent for this area and I'm ready to go to work for you. Like you can figure out your own way of introducing yourself to that area.
Yes, thank you. Reach out, ask for help. Title companies can help us with all sorts of things, even like some of these phone numbers, like we will get all these for you. But they can help you with like addresses, neighborhoods. Real Advantage Title has a really cool app for farming and door knocking and looking up people. Like you literally can take a picture of a house and zoom in and we'll tell you like what their last loan was, who owns the house. It's the coolest program. So that's my little spiel for Real Advantage Title. Meet with them and they'll show you how it works. It's an app on your phone. Very cool. And you can find names, phone numbers, everything that Ellie just said. So, okay. So those are my best ways. Oh, farming. Farming is the last one on here. So kind of touching on that. Farming is basically you picking an area, a geographical farm of where you want to go out and get business. So just like a farmer would do, we're going to go out there, we're going to plant seeds, we're going to water the garden, we're going to weed the garden, we're going to do everything that we can as farmers. That's basically the concept of farming, to generate business. So it's you specifically going in one neighborhood over and over and over again. And you can do that through door knocking. You can do it through phone calls. You can do it through mailers. You can do it through every time within this specific parameter of a neighborhood, a home comes up for sale. You're letting them know. You could do community events in that farming area. There's other, other agents have built their entire business on farming. A gentleman I'm going to give you, his name is Kenny Kraus, and you can YouTube him. If you've ever, Ellie, you probably saw him at Family Reunion. He gets on many panels, but he's built a multi-billion dollar, not billion, $1 million business farming. So Google him, go onto YouTube, and there's lots of training and ideas on how to take a farm to a whole new level. So questions on farming, and use the farming app and use your title company to help you with that. Okay. So here's just a couple scripts. So this is really the script that you are new and you just joined Keller Williams. If you want a copy of this, I'll come back to it and you can screenshot it. This is the door knocking script. So I want you guys to listen to this. So let me know if you can hear the sound. Maybe somebody give me a thumbs up or something.
Hello, my friends. Rachel Adams Lee here. Guess what we're talking about? We're talking open houses. How many of you are ready to rock your open houses to the next level? And you think, I want a ton of activity. I want a big open house. And I know that when I go knock on that door, I am terrified. I don't know what they're gonna say. I don't wanna bother them. So you know what? I'm not gonna knock on the door. I'll just stick it on Facebook and we'll see how it goes. If that's you, then you better tune in, because today we're talking the open house script that's going to rock your world. Okay, you guys, it is the day before open house. You are ready to do this. You're gonna door knock, you're gonna add value to these people, and guess what? You're nervous. I get it, right? Your hands are a little sweaty, you're not sure what to say. Here is the master script that's gonna make all your fear go away. All right, you knock on that door, they answer. Hey there, my name's Rachel Adams Lee with Keller Williams Realty, and I just wanted to let you know, stopping by to give you a little courtesy notice, there's actually gonna be a little bit of extra traffic in your neighborhood from 12 to 4 tomorrow on Saturday because we're doing an open house. Yeah, your neighbor, they actually just listed their house with us, the Rachel Adams Group, and it's actually listed for $25,000 more than they thought it would go for, which is really exciting for them and actually good news for you. So just wanna stop by, saw a little bike outside, wanna make sure you have a courtesy notice, just a little bit of extra traffic in the neighborhood. Boom. Silence, and you wait. So instead, because I will tell you guys, when I started door knocking, you guys know I started my whole business door knocking 200 doors a week, doing my 3 open houses a week. It was insane, it was crazy, and yet it works, right? When I did it though, I was so nervous because I thought if I knocked on their door, I'm bothering them and I was inconveniencing them. And in fact, I realized that's not the case at all. Because if their neighbor's house is going for $25,000 more than they thought it was, then that means good news for them. That means they potentially have more equity in their home than they thought. And yet I don't want to open the door and be like, hi, do you want to buy, sell? Right? Like that's too crazy. That doesn't work for me and that's also not my style. So instead I came up with the script that I'm just stopping by to give you a little courtesy notice. There's going to be a little extra traffic in your neighborhood from 12 to 4 on Saturday. And then they're grateful. I'm telling you, when you tell them there's a courtesy notice, it's just like, okay, you're not selling me anything. And then I do let them know their neighbor's house is selling for $25,000 more. And then I wait, I'm silent. And I let them take the conversation where they will. Sometimes they just say thank you. Sometimes they ask me more questions about the neighborhood or the neighbor's house, right? And then I ask if they've ever wondered how much their house is worth. And I'll say, you know, for totally free, I'm more than happy to just get you values of your home. I mean, obviously the market's changing and sellers are actually netting more money than they thought they were. So, you know, whether you're looking to upsize, downsize, whatever you're looking to do, you know, I'd be happy to help you. No pressure though, of course. Like I'm really passive when I'm at that door. And I will tell you, it has changed the way we do business. Stop by and give them a courtesy notice about traffic and then wait. Okay, just wait and see what they say. Now, the other piece to this is we always have a two-sided flyer, which I'm going to show you guys side one, which is always just sold, right? The houses that are being sold in their neighborhood, always with a call to action, right? And then side two is always something of value. So this one happens to be where to watch the fireworks on the 4th of July. We also let them know, sometimes we're doing a school supply drive, right? We want them to know that we are local experts who know about the community, who give back to the community. Those of you who know me know that I'm all about the mimosas. So we have a Santa mimosa event, we have mommies and mimosas, we have Easter bunny mimosas. We're the kind of realtors you want to hang out with. And guess what? You can be that kind of realtor too. All right, my open house fans, I hope you found value in this video and it brings wealth to you and your business and your life. I care about you. I'm here for you. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, connect with me on social media. If there's a specific script that you are looking for, I would love to be able to get that for you. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, you guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I'm keeping this up here. She's one of my favorite realtors. So I would definitely recommend that you connect with her. Watch some of her older videos, you guys. She built her entire business doing this. So I want to know a few things that you heard from the video. What did you take away from that video?
No, it's all fading out, so we couldn't hear you.
Did you hear the video?
Yeah, it's still doing it.
What I took away was that she made it super casual and not salesy. I think the thing that people are turned off most often it's feeling like they're being sold or someone's coming to sell them something. Yeah. So she just made it like a courtesy notice and as a benefit to them, right? Like there's going to be traffic if you have children out playing, it would be good to know this, you know?
Yes. I love that approach with her too. She's like, no big deal. I mean, if you want to upsize, downsize, no big deal. Happy to do it. It's free. So it really is kind of the energy she brings with it. And Greg, I was asking for ahas and you put it in the chat. I wanted everybody to hear how many doors she knocked every week to build her business. 200 doors. So going back to door knocking, if that's something you want to check out, you want to do, just think what that looks like to hit 200 doors. You know, it's still probably only a couple hours a day, and she is literally in the top 1,000 in the U.S. So if you were to follow her, talk to her, see her, she just has this massive business, and it was all built from door knocking. So that's why I suggest watch some of her older videos. It's very motivating. Anything else that you guys picked up from that?
I love her energy. It was at like an all-time top-notch high. Like she came ready to hustle. I just loved it.
Yeah. You've got a video about the blisters she used to get on her feet. Like the hustle is real for this chick. So yes, I love that about her. The energy is just crazy. The other things that I took down were I love that she's always adding an item of value. So how many of us take the extra time on our flyer to add some value? Give them a reason to keep that flyer. So that does take a little bit of research, like maybe your open houses, maybe you're marketing or farming, you know, in a specific area. I'm in South Jordan right now, so I'm saying that, but what are the local areas here? Like there's a really cute yoga studio right out here. I could go talk to the yoga studio, find out what, you know, what are their classes, what specials are they running? There's a really cute bakery over here. I could go find out, like support local. I love that idea. But you know, think of value that you can put on the back of that flyer. I love that hers was for July. So you guys can start thinking about that now. Where can people see fireworks? If somebody handed that to me and I had small children or I wanted to go see fireworks, that's going on my fridge. I'm not throwing that flyer away. So that was a big thing that I picked up from her this time was the value on that flyer. So anything else? I hope you guys have gotten some really good ideas on how to pick up sellers tonight. I would love to hear 2 or 3 of your action items. What can you take action on? Maybe in the next 24 hours before we meet again. What can you take action on from this call tonight? 2 or 3 of them.
Can you put that list up again real quick before everybody starts?
Which list?
The one that you had all of the
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen? There we go. Three action items. Who's taking action on this? You're not going to do any of this? None of it?
I'm gonna look into the golden letters. It's about the only thing I haven't done yet is the golden letters, but I'm gonna look into that.
Okay. Awesome. I have a whole playbook on it. I'm gonna email it to you, Cody.
You are fabulous, Terry. We don't deserve you.
Oh, you are kind. Thank you. Okay, what else? What other action items are you guys gonna take? I gave you lots of ideas tonight.
I'll be plugging into my SOI more.
SOI. Yes. Love it.
I'm gonna
I
be
wanna-
posting something on Facebook and commenting on some of the posts from my friends, I guess.
Awesome. Engaging on social media. Yes. Yeah, just get active. Set yourself a timer. I like to do my social media. You'll see if I'm ever active. It's early in the morning and late at night. So that's kind of my downtime. Just engage with people. Like, post, comment, do it for 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a huge ordeal. So I love that, Caddy. And I think Greg was saying something.
Oh, I'm just trying to. I want to work on farming, but I'm trying to see if it costs or anything, or what the cost is going to be. So that's why I was looking into farming. I was doing a bunch of research on it and stuff because I want to do it.
Okay, what I'm going to tell you about farming, it can be expensive and it can also be very inexpensive. So in our YouTube channel, I do have an interview with one of our agents. He's the top agent in West Jordan, and he talks all about farming. And he talked about where he built his farming and he didn't have a lot of money. He moved here from California and had to start his business completely over. So in your office, you do receive, I think it's 200 free black and white flyers. He did those half page. So he got 400 flyers, all black and white, and started farming and door knocking that before. And then when he started making money and having it turn into something, now he obviously spends a whole lot more money on farming and everything's colored and very nice and all of that. But he literally started with the free flyers that you get from the office, and just sent out. He used to say that he had the kids go out and put the flyers on the doors over and over and over and over. It's just consistency and repetition. That's basically what farming is. So I would encourage you to sit down with somebody from Real Advantage Title and they can go over their farming app with you, get you a neighborhood and use your free flyers until you start making money. In real estate, you don't have to spend a lot. Just get out there and do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then when you want real inspiration, YouTube Kenny Kraus. He spends a lot of money, but he also makes a lot of money and he built it up. So it'll just be exciting to see what it could be. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that. I hope you all take action on it. A couple things I wanted to share with you guys really quickly. So we will, tomorrow is Friday, 8:30 call. We will have that in the morning. We have Ignite happening tomorrow. Next week, I want you guys to plan for this if you can. So next Friday, if you need time to get time off work or be here or whatever, we are going to be doing a watch party for a class called Quantum Leap. This will be taught by Gary Keller himself. It's all candid. It's going to be, I think it's from like 7 to 4. It's all day long class. They no longer let you come. I've seen him do this in person, and it's a class that most people have to travel for. And now he's so passionate about getting this message out to young people. You have to be 19 or 18 to 29 to even get in the room. So those of us that are over 29, which I think is almost everyone on this call, getting closer anyway, you will not be able to get in a room with Gary Keller to get this class ever again. So it's a very exciting class. I'm so excited to do it. You will walk away with mindset, mind blown. 9 to 4 Friday in the South Jordan office. We're going to have a big watch party. So if you can be here, I'm just going to start promoting that. You will see some emails come out about it. Questions? Anything else I can help you with tonight? Okay. Well, thank you for joining me. I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. If not, have a fantastic weekend and I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much, Terry.
everything.
You are fabulous.
You are welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One of the best coaches ever.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks
Thank
again,
you,
you guys.
Terry.
Thank you. Have a good night, you guys.